Club Nation? It's boy John here today. We're back with the second part 2 of the AFL Footy Quarterfinals. We're going to be taking a look at the Sydney Swans and the GWS Giants tonight. We're also going to take a look at the last game of the round, the Saturday night primetime game. It's going to be between the Brisbane Lions and the Carlton Blues up in Brisbane. Should be an absolutely cracking game. Looks like all the games this week are going to be awesome to see. If you have not listened yet to or watched part 1, where we went over Port Adelaide and Geelong on Thursday night, and then on Friday night, Hawthorn and the Bulldogs, go back and check that out. You can check that out here, is it? It's probably going to pop up here on the screen. Be sure to leave a like and a subscribe. Helps us out. If you're one of the 200 active listeners on Apple Podcasts as well, if you can leave a review, that also really helps us out, and you can check out our social channels as well. But without further ado, let's finish off the series. Let's finish off the quarterfinals series. We're going to deep dive into these teams. It's going to be some really fantastic matchups, and we've got some excellent props for you. Programming note as well, NFL is back. Check out the Sunday slate with Sully and I. We're going to be going over all of our favorite week 1 picks as well. And I'm also going to be bringing the NFL kickoff to you as well between the Ravens and the Chiefs. That should also be up as well. So check that out and like and leave a comment on those to help us out as well. So we've got heaps of sport going on. There's heaps going on. US Open has just finished. Formula One's in full force. NFL's back, college football's back, Aussie rules finals are here. It's all happening. We're very, very excited. So without further ado, never bet more than you can afford to lose, and help us out there if you need. All right, we're going to start with the Saturday day game. This is the battle of, no, they don't like saying that. This is going to be the Sydney Showdown, I'll call it. Between the Sydney Swans and the GWS Giants. And I sneaky, low-key, quite like the Giants in this game. So Swans are favourite, -7.5 points. The over-under is 172.5. This is the highest over-under of the week. So they reckon this will be the highest scoring game, which is interesting to say the least, because Swans have covered the spread just once in their last 5 games. Meanwhile, Giants have covered the spread 6 of their last 8. And 10 of the last 13 Swans games have all gone over their implied total. So should be a fair bit of scoring in this one as well. Swans are 5-5 over the last 10 games. They're way out of form, similar to what we'll talk about with the Blues. Giants are 7-3, and they rested a couple of players last week against the Dogs. So I suspect that that's kind of the only reason of why they are 7-3. They barely, they might have beaten the Dogs in Ballarat, so to put them to 8-2. So we'll see how that goes for the Swans. Injuries, main ones to look at. So Justin McInerney could be back. Tom Papley should be back as well. And we should see Chad Warner. Sam Wicks will be back from suspension as well. And we should expect to see Robbie Fox, who had that kidney injury not too long ago. For the Giants, they rested a bunch of guys last week. So Brent Daniels, we expect to see him back. Lachie Ash as well. He'll be back from his suspension. Jacob Ware is a test. Jack Riccardi could still be a game time decision as well. He had a finger issue a couple of weeks ago. So both teams were expecting to see a few people back. Swans rested a bunch of players. They rested Isaac Heaney and Dane Rampy. They were late outs in their game against the Crows the other week as well. So that should be good. But Nick Blakey, he was up to 32 disposals and 2 goals last week. He had a huge game. Similarly with Lewis Melican as well in defense. I'm going to be checking out for the Giants, Toby Green, his effect and his aura and what he does to the team. I'm expecting them to step up in a really, really big way. We'll start with disposals for the Swans. There's 2 players I'm fairly interested in. I know that Isaac Heaney's going to be back in this one, but Matt Roberts, he's been our guy. He should be in contention for Rising Star as well after all's said and done. He should really be up there. He's had a phenomenal way to finish the season from basically about round 18 onwards. He's had at least 20 touches in every single game he's played. He had 31 disposals last week, 21 before that, 25 before that. He had 36 against the Dogs in round 20 as well. And you can still get some great value on him for 20 plus touches. And I don't see him not making that mark at $1.42. Excellent value. Tee that up as well with Nick Blakey, also at $1.42. He had 32 disposals last week. I think that is in the absence of a couple of key players for the Swans, but then 19 the week before that, 24 the week before that, and then 19, 25. So I kind of expect that the floor for Nick Blake, he should be about 19, and that's a bet I'm willing to make. I wish there was a bit more value than $1.42 on that one, but I am okay with it. Chad Warner is the other way you could look for this one, for 20 plus touches as well. He's $1.27, a little bit less, but he's usually pretty good for at least 20 plus touches. And he's also usually good for a goal as well. You can get him for an anytime goal scorer at $1.30, which model likes as well. Isaac Heaney, expect him to step up in a big way as well for anytime goal scorer. You can get him at $1.30. You can get Will Hayward at $1.20. He didn't have any goals last week, but again, a couple of players were rested, so that's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, that we like on Hayden McLean there. He's at 25 goals from 41 shots at goal, so he sort of sits in that mark that we quite like. Another way you want to play this, if you're looking for a bit of a long shot for anytime goal scorer, we always fall back on Errol Goulden, who more often than not over the last couple of weeks has been not too bad. He scored 2 goals last week. No goals before that, but then 1 goal before that, and he's $1.85 to score, and he's had 13 goals from 33 shots at goal. He's had 166 score involvements. I'm pretty sure he leads the league in score involvements. He's always playing around that perimeter 50, going inside 50 as well. He likes to target a few players, and he likes to have a shot, so I'm okay with that. You could even take a look at Tom Papley, $1.22 to score a goal. He's had 30 goals from 66 shots at goal on the season, and he's fairly good value at the moment, but there's a couple of really good options here. Chad Warner, Isaac Heaney, the ways I want to look for to play this one. We'll take a look now at the Giants, and this should be interesting. You can still play this. Finn Callahan, our guy, all season long. He's $1.25 for 20 plus touches. You can still get value on that. If you want to play that up to 25, he's $1.90. He's done that 3 of the last 5 weeks as well, and he's been heavily involved. I'll be interested to see how he actually goes against the Swans here in this spot. In recent times, in previous rounds against the Swans, he's had 27 disposals. That was back in round 17, I want to say. And then in round 8, he had 23 disposals. So he is fairly involved in this spot. So let's lock him in. I want to bet him up to 25. I know that's a little bit risky, but I just think there's such good value on him at that spot. And then you can sort of sit back in the other areas. He's $1.90 for 25 as well. Plus, if you take a look at like Josh Kelly, Stephen Cornelio, they're less value, and as far as my model can see, they're less likely to score as well. A couple of the easier guys that we've been talking about in recent weeks as well. So I really love Lachie Ash. Didn't play last week because he was suspended. He had 20 disposals the week before that, and he's usually good for 20 plus touches. So he's at $1.35. And Brent Daniels has really come alive. He was rested last week. He's $1.85 for 20 plus touches. Model loves that. So really good value. Likely outcome, he's sitting at about 2.8 points over disposals over the 20 plus touch mark as well. So I'm into it. I'm into this, the value that you're getting on the Swans, the value they're getting on the Giants as well. If we take a look at anytime goal scorers for the Giants at $1.50, you can get Brent Daniels. Model loves this. 23 goals from 46 shots at goal. So he's going to be hugely involved in getting the ball. He moves it inside 50 a lot more. He was playing a little bit of the wing and the half forward line in recent games gone by, but he's been good for at least 1 goal in pretty much all of the last 5-6 games that he's played. So we're going to be all over that as far as value goes. You could even take a look at Aaron Cadman as well. He is $1.30 for anytime goal scorer. He is 26 goals from 42 shots a goal on the season. If you want to take a look at Jesse Hogan and Toby Green, this is where it gets a bit tricky. So Jesse Hogan's had at least 2 goals in pretty much every single game that he's played. He's won the Coleman. It's locked in. Doesn't always get touches on the ball, but he's 69 goals from 105 shots at goal. Nice. So if you wanted to take a look at him or Toby Green, you could do that. I think I'd probably rather go with Jesse Hogan, even though Toby Green is usually good for at least 2 goals. He's $1.65. So this should be a hotly contested game. I'm excited for this one. So we're going to go over the ticket now. I want to go anytime goal scorers. I want to go with Brent Daniels. I'm going to lock that one in at $1.45. I want to take a look at Isaac Heaney, anytime goal scorer as well. We'll go Finn Callahan, 25 plus touches. Oh man, that's a stretch. If you're not feeling as ballsy as I am, you can just do the 20 plus touches. I'm okay with that. And then we want to take a look at Matt Roberts at $1.42 for 20 plus touches. Absolutely love that value as well. All right, let's finish up with the last game of the round. It's the Saturday night showdown. It's in Brisbane at the Gabba. It's between the Brisbane Lions and the Carlton Blues, and this should be an absolutely cracking game. The Lions are favourite 24.5 points. The over-under is 166.5 points, and that's pretty interesting because these teams like to play in low-scoring games, believe it or not. Lions have covered just once in the last 4 weeks. Meanwhile, the Blues have only covered twice in the last 8 weeks. That's not even the craziest stat. Over the last 11 weeks, both these teams combined, over the last 7 weeks, both these teams have combined for 1 and 11 as far as overs go. Brisbane have not had an overs game in 8 weeks. Blues have only had 1 in the last 8 weeks. This is crazy stats that have come out for us. Lions are 10-2 over the last 12 games. So even though they've been winning, they haven't been covering. So they're not meeting expectation. The Blues are 4-6 over the last 10 weeks. So they're really out of form as well. But they hopefully will get a few key injuries back for this one. For the Lions, Jared Berry is a test. We should see him. And then Bruce Revel, fibula, should be back as well. Jack Payne as well should be back from his foot injury. For the Blues, I believe we're going to see Charlie Curnow. He should be back from his ankle injury. We might even see Harry McKay. Sam Durden should be back. Marchbank should be back from his concussion if he passes protocol. And Mitch McGovern should be back as well. So, Brisbane, completely inaccurate. It's probably why they're playing in so many unders at the moment. They were 11-21 kicking in front of goal last week. So it wasn't really helping them. And the other thing that's not been helping the Lions at the moment is all the teams who have been making these late surge comebacks against them. Even the Bombers, who they played, did kick something like the last 5 unanswered goals. So they didn't win in the end. And the Lions had a 46-point lead that they gave up with 30 consecutive points to the Bombers. We saw them do the same to the Pies as well. And the last time these two teams played in round 0, you might remember it, the Brisbane Lions got out to something like a 60 or 70-point lead at halftime, and the Blues came all the way back and won that game. And that was at the Gabba. And I would not be surprised if this one goes a little bit similar to that. We're going to start with Lachie Neale at 25 plus disposals. You can get him at $1.20 on the dot. So he had 40 disposals last week, 22 before that, 24 the week before that, but then 33 and 35. So we're going all in on Lachie Neale in this spot. I think he's going to have a really, really big game. The other one we were on last week was Cam Rayner for 15 plus touches, and that was a hit. We really like to see that. $1.25. He's pretty much done that every single week. You can still get fairly good value on him. I still want him to kick a goal. He's not been doing it. It's a bit of a bummer. And then the other one is 25 plus touches for Hugh McCluggage as well, has stepped up in a really big way recently. 29 disposals last week and 26 the week before that. So at $1.60, that's excellent value. I like that value better than, say, Will Ashcroft at $1.65 or Josh Dunkley at $1.55. I think Hugh McCluggage is the way that I want to play this. You could even take a look at Dayne Zorko if you want, a little bit less at $1.50, but he should be hugely involved as well. If you want something a little bit more low T than that, for 15 plus disposals, Model loves Zac Bailey as well to step up. He is $1.37, 15 plus touches, and he's pretty much hit that mark most weeks more often than not. So is Jasper Fletcher, actually, it's got to be said, as well at $1.45. Model likes that value. We'll take a look at anytime goal scorers for the Brisbane Lions. Well, there's going to be a lot of them. Model loves these guys because they miss all the time, and we expect them to eventually go through. At $1.80 for a bit of a long shot is Hugh McCluggage, is who the Model likes the most. He's had 17 goals from 34 shots at goal, so it could be a big Hugh McCluggage game. Other way we want to look for this one is Joe Daniher to kick 2 goals. There's a bit of value has come into this. I know that we talked about him last week. Yes, he's 50 goals from 112 shots at goal on the season. But Joe Daniher for 2 plus goals is $1.65, and he often does that more often than not. He did mention, now we were on this last week, he scored 1 goal. He did mention he was going to start handing the ball off more often than not after recent feedback he'd been receiving from his forwards, and it looks like that actually happened because he just had the 1 goal. So will that maintain, or can we bet him again? I like Primetime Joe in this spot. I think hopefully he can fix his accuracy. He just never seems to be able to do it in his career, but $1.65 for 2, I think that's really, really good value there. The other one we really like for 1 goal is Kai Lohmann. You can still get really, really good value on him. $1.40 for 1 goal. He's had 3 goals last week and 2 goals the week before that. He's really come alive. I want to stay in the Flames. Stay in the Flames with Kai Lohmann. Let's finish up with the Carlton Blues and how their season's gone. I don't expect them to win this game, but I also don't expect the Brisbane Lions to make it easy on themselves either. We're going to start with Nick Newman in the half-back line for the Blues. At 25 plus disposals at $1.55, you can get him. He had 35 touches in their loss to the Saints last week, 25 the week before that, 27 the week before that, and 34. So he is on fire at the moment. He is averaging 5.8 more disposals than the 25 plus touch mark at the moment. So absolutely love the value that you're getting on Nick Newman there. The other one that really likes is George Hewett for 25. He had 32 touches last week and 35 the week before that. 21, but then 32 as well. So big boomer games in these ones. So I haven't seen as much Cripps or Walsh. They're a bit more frisky at the moment. And then the other one you could look at if you wanted. Let's go with Ollie Hollands for 15 plus touches. 21 last week, 24 the week before that, and 22. And then there was a little bit of down games there. But you could go Jackson Binns or Ollie Hollands. I'm okay with either one. Binns is a little bit more risky, but I think that there's some okay value at the $1.25 that you're getting there. The 30 plus disposals that you need to bet for Patrick Cripps and Sam Walsh at $1.90 and $1.95, you're not getting as much good value on that. So Cripps last week, 30, 35 the week before that, and then 25 and 30. So you would think it's good, but the model has him right on that spot there, right on that line. And Sam Walsh is 2.3 disposals under that at the moment. So not really loving the value on either of those. So we'll stick with the Lions for disposals. We'll stick with what we've mentioned. I've kind of been off the Blues all season long as far as disposals go. But what I do like is to kick 2+ goals. Let's go with Charlie Curnow. How about that? Only one game has he had 1 goal. Only one other game has he had 0 goals. So we're into this 2+ goals mark. I hope he's still not too injured. I hope he can still come alive in this game. I'm going to bet that they are going to perceive this as potentially the last game of the season for the Blues. So he'll have the rest of the off season to heal up and get better. Maybe they'll shoot him up with some drugs and then they'll roll him out there and he'll be good to go. So I'm into Charlie Curnow with the 2+ goals. I'm not really looking in any other direction other than that. The thing with the Blues is once you get past Curnow and McKay, the value really drops off. It's really inconsistent. There's been no consistent sort of like half forward for the Blues or midfielder who's stepped up and who's been scoring or from the wing or anything like that. It's really all funneled through those two guys. So it's a bit of a tricky way to look at it. But let's finish up with the ticket. So we're going to go with Charlie Curnow. We just mentioned him for 2+ goals. Joe Daniher for 2+ goals. We really like that as well. We're going to go with Lachie Neale. 25 plus touches there as well. And Hugh McCluggage, 25 plus touches at $1.60 there. Looks really good. I might actually even just stay off the Blues altogether. I'm not expecting this to be a huge game from them. The Lions are 4-goal favourites as well. So let's stick on them, see what they can do in September and see what we can produce in September as well. That's going to do it for the footy for the quarterfinals. As mentioned before at the top of the show, if you want to go back and hear the other 2 games that we talked about, you can do so by clicking on the link in the show description as well. If you're still watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. That really, really helps us out. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter as well. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, leave a review. But other than that, check out our NFL Week 1 Sunday slate. It's going to be coming later in the week as well. Sully's all over that. You can go back and take a listen to our Thursday night NFL kickoff. And we're doing the Brazil game as well. That's also going to be there to check out as well. So there's heaps of content rolling out at the moment. Very excited for the start of the NFL season, for footy finals. It's all happening. Enjoy the games this weekend. We'll speak to you soon. Until then, goodbye.
Don't let the game play you. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly. In Australia, phone 1-800-858-858 for free and confidential support. In Canada, learn about safer play at Know the Risks from the Responsible Gambling Council at knowtherisks.ca. In America, must be 21 or older and present in Arizona. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Colorado, gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Connecticut, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In Illinois, Maryland, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Indiana, gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Kansas, gambling problem, getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com. Louisiana, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-770-STOP. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support. Play it smart from the start or call 1-800-GAM-1234. In Michigan, gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. In New York, for help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Tennessee gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. Wyoming gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Prop Nation betting show is for entertainment purposes only and should in no way be considered financial advice.